So I want to keep this short, but you know how Jesus says, when you fast, when you give alms, when you pray, that means, if he says when, that means he's expecting that at sometimes we will pray. He doesn't say, if you just happen to be fasting. Because I mention it, because some people, and this really drives me up a wall. I've even met some priests who will say, you don't have to take Lent that serious. Just be happy. I just find that so annoying. No, if Christ says when you fast, when you give alms, that means Christ is expecting that we'll do it. So don't take the lazy way of saying, well, you don't have to. Yes, you don't have to. But the point of it is that Christ wants us to do those things to lead to a deeper conversion. And for thousands and thousands of years, Catholics have been using the 40 days of Lent for fasting and almsgiving and deeper conversion. Why would you listen to those people who say, oh, take the lazy way? Why don't we really, in our hearts, really want a deeper conversion? And so we have this custom of using ashes. And the practice of using ashes, it's so ancient, so is fasting. We don't know when it began. Several times in the Old Testament, you have people who want deeper conversion to put ashes on their forehead. And there's a lot of symbols there, but the one I like is from Genesis, where we are made from the dust of the earth. And the ashes were called Genesis, when God scooped up the earth, ashes, and created us. And putting ashes on your forehead in the Old Testament is hoping that there'll be this new Genesis, that God will free us to be better human beings. Why not become the best version of yourself? So you have it all through the Old Testament, of fasting, putting ashes on your head, really as a way of saying, I'm marking out time for a deeper conversion. And just because this came up this afternoon, Facebook, which I'm not on, somebody said, well, on Facebook it says Catholics put ashes on their forehead because people who worship Odin used to do the same thing. That is factually untrue. And it drives me up the wall, because every time there's a Catholic feast, whether it's Easter, a couple years ago they said, oh, Easter came from worshiping the goddess Ishtar, which is a complete lie. Nowhere do you have any in mythology that Odin ever had his followers put ashes. They're just trying to discourage us, if that makes any sense. But there's this whole history. You put ashes on your forehead because you're trying to remind yourself, I want a deeper conversion. I want to become a new creation. And the ashes also symbolize that, really, death. That something in us will die. We only have so long to live. And the older you get, the more, for me, life is so short. Why not become the best version of yourself? So the marking that something will die, I think that's kind of beautiful. Usually I spend my Lent trying to die to anger, but really I'm now so peaceful, I don't need to work on that. So my penance, and yes, I believe my penance is to work on my anxiety. I'm a big worrier. I just want to be more free. So when the ashes get marked in you, I like the custom of, on Ash Wednesday, choosing something in you that you need to die to. Some bit of anger or selfishness or laziness or anxiety. If you can't think of anything, ask your spouse, because I guarantee you they have a whole list ready. And then, we choose some penance to sacrifice. We fast on certain days. And I'm kind of surprised, because I also got in another discussion where I had said, no desserts during Lent. In Lent, you're supposed to be you fast to become more compassionate to those who are hungry. And the poor don't get desserts. If they don't get food, they're certainly not having desserts. And somebody said, are you serious? No dessert? Well, of course I'm serious. you at least strive for it. No meat on fast days. You can have fish. And it sounds like fish on Fridays because fish in the ancient world is what, like if the poor got to eat any meat, the only thing they could ever afford would be fish. So, yes, it's in solidarity with all those who are suffering. The idea of fasting, it's supposed to make us more compassionate human beings. And almsgiving. Jesus mentions almsgiving. Before Passover, all Jews would have to donate something to the poor. Even Jesus says we must give alms. So sometime during the 40 days of Lent, yeah, you're supposed to do something for the poor. Like at St. Ignatius School, I really look forward. They have this faith in action where they get to pick one area that they can work on. And then one grade, I'm not sure what it is, one grade, they're really little kids. So their almsgiving is going to be writing thank you notes once a week to somebody. But I think that's a great way to start almsgiving. You just want to give back something to the world. It makes us better people. And so all these practices, I just beg you to take them serious and try a little penance. Like I'm not big on penance, but I do 100% believe in it. So like one of the penances I'm going to try and also do is give up TV during Lent. Now, not totally. I want 30 minutes just to check out the news. But so I always have these loopholes. Jesus. But like I figure after 40 days, not that long, I'll be able to read more silence, be more calm, pick something so that even as a family that you guys can do just to be better. A little bit of sacrifice. And remember, in the end, the whole point is about conversion. As I said, why not be the best version of yourself? For 40 days, we work on some fault. We work on becoming more compassionate. Not that long. It's only a 10th of the year. Give a 10th back to God. And yes, and the final thing is, Christ oddly, and this is new, he combines prayer and almsgiving together. And he combines it because we do all these things not because we're in charge. We do these things because we want to work with the Holy Spirit. You want to keep a prayer life. So really, in the end, it's the Holy Spirit that's transforming us into better people. We want to be more loving people. I'm just begging you to take Lent more serious so that by Easter comes, we actually all have had a little conversion. And so please stand so we can bless our ashes.